Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered, the podcast where we say the things everyone else whispers, feels, or pretends they're totally fine about. Around here, nothing is too awkward, too messy, or too, oh my god, did she really just say that? Yes, I did. This is your space where real talk, real stories, real emotions, and the kind of honesty that makes you laugh, cry, and heal a little. Sometimes all at once. So grab your drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. Because life's too short to sugarcoat it, and I'm not here to do that anyway. Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm your host, Auntie Mel Mel, and today we're kicking off something brand new called WWAMMD. What would Auntie Mel Mel do? This is our advice-style, late-night talk radio inspired space where we talk about real questions, real life, and real experiences, without judgment and without pretending we have all the answers. For this very first WWAMMD episode, I'm joined by someone you already know from episode 4, Mental Health, Both Sides of the Couch, Chris Morgan. Chris brings lived experience, professional insight, and a grounded perspective, and together we're tackling big topics from multiple angles. Here's how today works. We've loaded up a wheel with questions covering mental health, relationships, friendships, family dynamics, music, culture, AI, and modern life. We're spinning the wheel and answering whatever comes up in real time, letting the conversation go where it needs to go. Some answers may be thoughtful, some may be uncomfortable, and some may be lighthearted, but all of them are honest. So settle in, grab your comfort drink, and let's spin the wheel. Welcome, Chris. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, what's going on, Mel? How you doing?
Doing great. I'm so excited to have you here for my first WWAMMD episode. I've been really looking forward to these. Kind of something to lighten up, some of the serious topics. Of course, we may touch on some serious topics as well, but I'm just going to put this little disclaimer out here. I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be. This is just friends having a conversation, answering questions, and giving our advice. It may not be something you agree with, but it's just how we feel. So.
That's right.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up the wheel, which I'm so excited we get to do this, and let's go.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Sweet look.
So let's see what the first one's gonna be today.
Spin the wheel.
Is it selfish to distance yourself from family members for your mental health? If you want to take this one first, Chris, and tell us your perspective on this.
Oh, first off, the wheel is awesome.
Thank you.
But what a great first question.
Yeah.
Is it selfish? There's negative selfishness and there's positive selfishness. If that selfishness is for your mental health and stuff like that, it really doesn't matter if you need to put family to the side while you get yourself, because your mental health is, paramount. And
Absolutely.
family should understand that, right?
Definitely, for sure. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely important, especially for your mental health, to put yourself first. Family thing. Ever since we were young, people say, family's blood. It doesn't matter. No, that's not the case. Especially if someone is someone that's causing your mental health to decline, or makes you feel horrible about yourself. You don't have to associate with that person. There's no rule saying that you always have to be around that person, or that you have to go to family functions with that person. That's something I'm very proud of our generation. A lot of us are breaking that stigma and that family
Absolutely. Yep.
dynamics. Like, no, we don't have to, and we're not going to. So, yes, this was a really awesome, great question. I think, like you said, every situation is different. If you are doing it for selfish reasons, say
Yes.
you have a sick parent or something like that, and they've always been there for you, and like I know that can become overwhelming, but try to check on them at least, be there in some way, even if you can't help them financially or anything like that. Just kind of make sure you're still there. But if it's someone that drains you, then by all means, bye bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's check and see what the next one's gonna be.
Spin in. This is literally like love line. Only the people I'm calling in.
Yeah, so I wanted to channel my inner Delilah, Dr. Ruth, Dr. Drew, all of
Yeah.
those things that we grew up with. So, all right. How do you manage a relationship with a partner who avoids accountability? Ooh, that's a tough one.
Uh-huh.
Let's see here. Um, I mean, speaking, communication is very important. Coming from a nice way, not trying to make it a fight, but bringing it up in a way that maybe your partner is comfortable with. Everybody has different love languages and how they hear things. And also don't bring it up in a moment of anger or rage. Wait till it's more of a chill environment, and kind of say it, you should know your partner well enough to understand how they're going to react or how their brain works or what they're going through. It may not always be that they're just trying to avoid accountability. They may be depressed or have things going on or, something behind the scenes that they haven't even talked to you about. So I just say come at it with a gentle perspective. Don't come at it angry. Obviously, if it's something that never changes and you talk about it over and over and over again, yeah, that's an issue. And you should definitely find a way to talk about that more, even if that's reaching out to a therapist or getting family or friends involved in it. But yeah, that's how I feel on that question. How do you feel about this question?
Well, it is a very good one, and I think you hit it pretty well on the head. There's different levels of accountability, obviously.
Mhm.
Some people, depending on what their history is like, there could be some shame attached to that. Anytime accountability is brought up, it could be that they have negative self-talk going on.
Mhm.
So it could be touch and go for them, but ultimately that is their responsibility. Our triggers and our things that have happened to us aren't our fault, but it's our
Yes.
responsibility to change that and fix it. So when you get into a relationship with somebody who avoids accountability and stuff like that, it is correct. Sit down, try to create a safe space for them, have
Mhm.
conversation with them, and let them know what you're feeling. And if it continues on where the accountability just isn't there, it's going to affect your mental health. So there
Yes.
needs to be some boundary work done there as well.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's a great answer. And yeah, every situation is different. So,
Hmm.
but that is a tough one. That's a hard question. So, that's a really good one to answer on here and see what both of our perspectives were on that, especially you being in the mental health field as well. So,
Yeah, I have to deal with stuff like this.
I'm sure that's probably a very common topic that people are going through.
Safe spaces.
Yes. All right. Let's see what we get now. Ooh. Is harm reduction actually helping anyone? I'm going to let you go first with this and maybe explain a little bit about what harm reduction may be and then kind of answer it. So,
This is actually a very hot button topic depending on where you fall
mhm,
in is addiction a disease or a choice type thing.
right.
Harm reduction is uh, programs and systems that are put in place for individuals who are addicts or fighting addiction, for them to be more safe about it. There's
Mm,
places where they have vending machines where you can get Narcan, you can get
right.
test strips. There's sites where you can go to have your drugs tested to make sure that
Mhm,
it is what you bought. And a lot of people look at that as enabling and allowing that lifestyle to continue. But
mhm,
the other side of that spectrum is while they're fighting that fight, it's not completely linear. It's this.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
in that it's ups and downs. You have to be able to be safe while you're gathering that strength to beat that addiction. And
absolutely.
harm reduction is in place for people going through that. It's not a
Mhm,
means to perpetuate the disease.
right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, and thanks for giving us some insight a little bit more what that means. I think it goes back to what you said. It's kind of depending where you are on the spectrum. If you think addiction is a choice or if you think addiction is a disease, I mean, you're obviously going to think that it's, enabling if you're swayed one way or the other. But I agree. Have all the resources out there, and it may make them even think more. They maybe think, wow, what am I doing? They may hit their rock bottom in that moment. Like, I'm so in this that I'm going to a clinic to get my drugs tested, or I'm so in this that I always have to make sure I have Narcan on me and be prepared at all times. Like, it may actually help them in the long run. So I don't see any harm in it. And if it's one of those things, if it's not affecting you, then let it be. There's people that need it. So,
Yeah, I carry Narcan on me. I have
yes.
2 nasal sprays in my car that
Hmm.
I got from when I was peer support and went to a resource fair, and there was a harm reduction machine there. I went ahead and tried
Yeah.
it out. It was free.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay anything for it.
I think it's awesome. I think everybody
Mhm.
should have some. You never know. Someone could accidentally come in contact with it. We see it,
Yeah,
watching the live body cams, police, EMS, even just, someone grabbed a grocery cart ahead of you and had it on them. You could have a reaction from that. So
yep.
you never know. So I think it's very smart to have it, and I think it's important. So let's see what we get now. This is fun.
Ooh, I like the wheel.
Me too. Ooh, I think this is gonna be a good one. Can you love someone deeply and still know they're not your person? Yes, I think so. I think you can
Oh.
have love and care for somebody, but there's different types of love. I
Mhm.
think like, you can always love somebody, but it can turn into a different type of love. Doesn't mean that you're still madly in love with them or want to be in a relationship with that person. People change, people grow, things happen. But I think you can definitely still love someone deeply and know that they're not your person. So I don't think love is the be all end all when it comes to relationships. There's a lot that go into it. So
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you said, love is there's different levels to it, there's different nuances to it. Love means different things to different people,
hmm
and there is the saying, "I can love you, but I have to love you from afar." I mean, there
yes.
are going back to, like, the question we had about family situations
hmm
and stuff,
Exactly.
and this kinda lines in with that,
hmm
only in a more intimate level. Yeah, that
Right.
you can they can be your friend, they're just not your person.
Yeah, absolutely, and
They're not good
as you
for you.
said, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the family thing is very important when it comes to this besides relationships and also friendships.
Mhm.
I personally was friends with somebody for over 30 years and I finally, cut ties and stuff like that and made people I still love her forever and we have a lot of memories and things we went through together, but she's just not we just don't mesh anymore and it's that chapter of our life is closed. So, but doesn't mean I hate her or anything. So,
Absolutely. I mean, people grow in their own paces and in their own
yes,
directions.
absolutely, for sure.
This is fun. I like
It
this.
is. Can people genuinely change or do they just get better at hiding behavior? Ooh, that's a good one. I'll let you answer first.
Mm, people can actually change. This is a age-old question. It doesn't really matter. We're talking about just normal behavior, but if you take it into even deeper levels, like the addiction, beating a mental health challenge, incarceration, long-term stay facilities, it's like while you're in there, you can't argue that you're going through some sort of behavioral changes just due to the environment. So you're already changing your behavior from outside when you're going inside. So who's to say you can't do that coming out? It's just us as a
Yes.
society, we don't allow them to.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think people can genuinely change. As you said, that's kind of an outdated belief or thought, thinking people can never change. And I know in our episode, and I've spoken to other people about this too, like that is worse if you think somebody can never change and you always have that mindset. Like I know personally you do too, people that have changed and there's still the people that are like, no, you're still that druggie, you're still that person, you're never going to change. And they haven't been in trouble for 20, 30 years. Like people change but having that stigma and believing that people can't is absolutely horrible. And I hope that, we can shed some light on that and people actually think about it before they speak or have an opinion on how other people's life is going. So,
Biases are bad, okay?
yes, absolutely, for sure. And that's why we're here for to break stigmas and biases and open up
Mhm.
different viewpoints to people that may be opposed to some of this stuff. So, what's
Okay.
one belief about adulthood you had growing up that turned out to be wrong? That it was fun, that it was free. Freeing and fun, I think. I mean, of course there is with becoming an adult, there is the freedom, but there's so much responsibility, and I don't think we're prepared for that as much as we should be when we're younger. We think, being an adult, you can do whatever you want, which you can, but in your limits. You have to have money, you have to have the resources. Um, I think that would be my answer because it's not easy. Don't rush or grow up, kids. We all wanted to do
Mm.
that, but it's to stay kid as long as you can.
Yeah, do you know how many times I have said, "If I could go back to high school, I'm done with the adult trial?"
Yeah, I understand that completely.
Oh, I wouldn't say that fun turned out to be wrong because I have a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that's true. Yeah.
I gotta make it fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, growing up the way I did, I had to make it fun back then too. So
Yeah.
nothing's really changed. But the big lie that I would have is that you're gonna be successful no matter what. You're gonna
That's a good one.
accomplish all of your dreams, and
Yeah.
it's like it's gonna be handed to you on a silver
Right.
platter. That was to
Absolutely.
me the biggest lie. There's more
Yeah.
grit and determination and intestinal fortitude that goes into achieving your dreams that people realize, and most people give up.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Yeah, I read this question and that was my first answer. It was fun because I was like, "Yeah, I was just trying to be silly," but
It
no, I
was
agree.
mine too, so I had to be creative.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you. We have to make our fun more so than just things are just gonna come to us, and,
Yeah.
we do have to create our reality and our future. It just doesn't happen, so alrighty.
Round and
This
round
is
it
fun.
goes. Next question.
Do we owe our family access to us just because we're related? This goes hand in hand with kind of the question we had
Mm,
earlier. Absolutely
mhm.
not. Nope. You cut them
No,
off. You do whatever you have to do to keep yourself sane. It may not have to be a forever thing, but also if it is a forever thing, then that's your choice. And I mean,
uh,
you can always choose to try to talk to them, but a lot of us, especially in those narcissist relationship, it's never going to change. So do what's
abs
best for you and your own mental health. So you agree
there
with
might
that? Anything
well,
else
yeah,
on
there
that?
might be moments, if we're believing that people have the ability to change and we wanna
True.
allow them to show up as that changed self, that a checkup every once in a while,
Mhm.
a probe, so to speak, to see how they're going, and you just be like, "Oh, yeah, okay. No, you're
Yeah.
still on that same shit, so let's"
Yeah. Yeah.
you
That's a
"I
good
love you
point.
from over there,"
Right.
Christmas
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah. That's a really good point, and that is a really good point. Like, we believe in that change. And yeah, some people can change, and I know personally in my own life, I have a family member that I had to kinda tell them, like, "Hey, I gotta cut you off for a while. This is why, etcetera, etcetera." Ever since then, they have known, like, they know when they're about to push my buttons, they know when they're getting on my nerves, and they choose to, like, say positive, nice things now because they know if I cut them off again that they're screwed, and they don't have me anymore, so,
See, that's
but
them
yeah.
honoring your boundaries
Absolutely.
or
And then I
attempting.
have a family member that still chooses not to talk to that person. I have tried to tell them a little bit like, "Hey, they have changed some, but that's on them to want to see that and on them to want to take the step." So, everybody's situation is different.
Absolutely. If otherwise, there'd be a book on it, and we'd all just
For
read
sure.
it in high school.
Yeah, world doesn't work that way.
What's next?
Ooh, I think this will be fun. Is social media destroying society? You can go first with this one.
I did a paper on this and in college, and my professor told me that I should use it as my thesis for my master's work. Um,
Nice.
yes and no. Just like anything in our society, depending on the user.
Mhm.
Um, if you're using it to like what we're currently using it for and being informative and stuff like that, or staying up with family and sharing funny memes that, might be
Mhm.
questionable. Yeah, that's okay. That's fun. That's what it's for. But we have this new trend of anonymity that
Mhm.
people are using and disguising very crappy behavior. And that is what I think will ultimately be the downfall of social media.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I think that I had mentioned it before the Stanford prison experiment um,
Mhm.
from Philip Zimbardo, and I believe that we're seeing that play out in real time, along with Dr. or Sharif, the the Robbers Cave experiment,
Mm.
where
Mhm.
in-group and out-group fighting paired with the anonymous nature is just making it worse, so much
Yeah.
worse.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you on all of that, and there's a time and place for social media, and there are the fun aspects of it. And like you said, this being able to connect with other people, I say it in almost every episode. Like I'm one of those people. Like I wish we could go back to not having it at our hand, but also there's a lot of pluses to it. But I do feel like it's disconnecting people. It's putting more harm out there than good in a lot of situations, especially the state of the world that we're in right now, and all the
Mhm.
things going on just in our own country, and all the negative, nasty things. So it makes it hard. I think when times are tough, it may not be the best thing. I mean, there's outlets that
Yep.
help us, but also there's a lot that is feeding a lot of stuff. So
The problem
yeah,
with it is there's no way to regulate it,
yeah,
and then even if
absolutely.
there was, how could you? Because
Yeah.
freedom of speech and everything,
Mhm.
everybody has the equal right to.
Yeah.
It you can't really "Oh, that's my freedom of speech," and technically they're right, even though it's
Yeah.
something the asshole would say.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, we shall see how it's gonna go in the future. We're getting so futuristic with everything, so, I got the Meta glasses now and everything like that.
I
Soon enough,
like those, though.
those are really cool.
I've
We
seen
watched a
Tech
lot of
Nine wearing
concerts.
his, and he's just
Yeah,
videoing everything. That's awesome.
yeah. We're big Chimera fans. Oh, actually, a music question, and, they've been doing that at some of their festivals wearing the Meta glasses. It's so cool to see the
Yeah.
footage that way, so
I'm a
well,
nobody. You always just
yeah.
get, Walmart in the bread aisle.
Yeah. Hey, it'd still be fun though, I think,
"Ooh,
yeah.
we got wheat today."
Do a live video using them, that would be a blast, so. Has music ever helped you through a season of grief, heartbreak, or change? Absolutely, always
Yes.
and
Hands
forever. This
down.
question is a no-brainer. We both agree on this. We both are very much into music and the music scene. Um, Chris actually got me a connection. I'm gonna have the Taylor Foundation Mary come on next month. I'm so excited about that. That shows another aspect of the music community. We talk about that a lot in my episodes, breaking the stigma around rock and metal people being horrible, nasty people. No, most of them are some of the most caring people
Yep.
that you could
The
meet. So,
most. Yeah.
yeah, so, but yeah, if you do have any more you want to speak on that subject?
I'm gonna add something to this.
Yeah,
I use music therapy. I
yeah,
mean, that is a real thing, and it is viable, and it's scientifically proven. And just the other
absolutely.
day, uh, I have a client who is schizophrenic and is very monotone, gives 1 or 2 word answers, and shakes a lot under anxiety.
Mhm.
And that's the purpose of me being there, is to help this individual with their anxiety.
Yeah.
So doing some couple of sessions, we discovered that this person likes music, specifically rock music and Slipknot, to be more
Nice.
precise. So, during session, while we were waiting for lunch in the atmosphere of the dining hall that created all the anxiety, I put on Duality,
Nice.
and you saw his lights just, and
Mhm.
then slowly,
Yes.
so I'm over there doing it with them, and everybody in the chow hall is looking at us like, "What are they doing?" And not
Yeah.
knowing the magic moment that's going
Yeah.
on in that individual at that moment, and
Yeah.
music is the only thing that can give you that. That
Absolutely.
is wonderful.
Yeah, music is so underplayed, but also so many of us do appreciate it, and it's my therapy as well. Going to concerts, being in that community, feeling that vibe, just being in it is so awesome. And I have experience similar to kind of what you just said. I had a family friend growing up that was nonverbal. He could not talk or anything, and he was ADHD and had autism and all kinds of other things. And, when he turned about 13, 12, he started getting really into, like, the '60s and '70s music, and he could tell you who produced every single album, every song on every single album, how long it was, every single thing about it. That's what got him talking. Like, he never talked until he got into that, so
One.
it's
Yeah.
powerful. Music can do so much.
Music is emotions that
Mhm.
you can hear. It's
Yep.
emotions incarnate.
Yes, absolutely. So, so important. That was a really good one for both of us because I know we both feel the same about that.
I like these questions.
Me too. That was another music one, yep.
Another
What
music.
song instantly takes you back to a specific time in your life? Ooh, I'll let you go
Oh,
first.
it's not one song, it's an entire album, Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies.
Oh, nice. That's a really good album. Yeah.
There are so many memories tied in with that album. Me and my brother Curtis used to play and sing this song for a lot of people. I that whole album, will "Say Goodbye, Don't Follow," "Nutshell," "Whale and Wasp" doesn't even have any words to it, but it doesn't
Mhm.
need 'em.
Right. Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. That's such a great album. We are huge Alice in Chains fans. They're still on my bucket list. I have not got to see them yet, so
Right.
hopefully someday. I'm always waiting for them to be on ink, and they never are. So I'm not going this year, but that was one of my things. If Deftones, Alice in Chains were going to be on there, then I was going to at least go whatever days they were on. So, um, yeah, I have to kind of agree with you. Maybe more so an album. The of course, I'm not thinking of the name of the album right now, but I think it's Creed's first album.
Oh,
Um, Came out
my
in
own
like '97. Yeah, that
oh,
was my first experience with rock music, like
really?
personally, besides like the radio or hearing like my dad's rock music. I was only 10, and my great aunts, my mom's aunts, so they're like in their 60s at the time, took me and my brother to Kmart, which Kmart, good memories there. And let us pick out whatever we wanted, and that's what I picked out, and that changed my perspective on music at 10.
Mhm.
And I'm still in love with that album. And I know people say, oh, Creed's dad rock and gay, blah,
Oh,
blah, blah. But if you listen to that album, it will
yeah.
show you the real side of Creed. So,
If you listen to what Tremonti is doing on that guitar, it is
yeah.
it is hard.
Yep.
I can play some Creed, but it's like the elementary school version of it.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Everything. Yeah.
when My Own Prison came out, that album
Hmm.
came out, I was in basic training, and I used to
Oh,
lay
nice.
under my rack and belt out, uh,
Hmm.
My Own Prison and Torn, and everybody
Yeah.
would shut up, and I
Yeah.
was like I didn't stop singing the song, and then whenever everybody's like, "Why'd you stop singing?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
Everybody was into it. Yeah. And the
But yeah,
lyrics to
well, it
that
wasn't because
album
of
are,
me, it
yeah.
was because of the
Yeah.
song is
Hmm.
what Scott Stapp was saying, I think, 'cause,
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
it's
I think
powerful.
that album, and I share a lot now still to this day, because I 'cause I'm still stuck. I always listen to old. Don't always listen to new music, it's always old music mixed in there too.
Yes.
But one,
Flavor.
I actually shared that, like, a couple of weeks ago, like, how that is going with the times right now, like, if people listen to those lyrics and stuff, and even that whole album,
Mhm.
there's a lot that's going on in the world and with all of us personally right now, and everything that they say on there is really important, so
Yeah,
that is a great
I
one.
agree with that.
One more, I have to mention it just because, I think I mentioned it with you, is when, or it may not have been with you, but, Rock on the Range, is right when Chris Cornell passed away, and that was the whole reason I wanted to go to Rock on Range, was I'm a huge Soundgarden, Chris Cornell fan. I found out less than 24 hours before we were supposed to go that he had taken his own life, so it was so somber, it was such a crazy weekend, and all the bands were doing tributes and stuff like that. I'd never seen Alter Bridge, and they did Blackbird, and like the sky just like turned gray, but there's just like lights coming through, and they dedicated it to Chris. Like I have chills just thinking about it now. Like there's certain songs and certain moments that just take you back. Like that was so powerful to be
Yep.
there with everybody mourning him and just being in that moment. So
I wish I could have been there for that.
yeah, it was rough. That was the whole reason I wanted to go, because I wanted to see Soundgarden my whole life, and literally 2 days before Sonic Temple. So yeah, I'm still heartbroken about that one. It
I
still
would have
kills
been
me,
too.
so
I mean, I'm heartbroken that he's no longer here. I bawled when Kurt
oh,
Cobain
yeah.
passed away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was inconsolable.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
my
like,
Chris
"Ye"
Cornell. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
All of them. Lane and all of
mhm,
them were very special and gone way too soon, so
agreed. Chester.
Chester, yes, absolutely. That's another one, especially growing up as a teenager in the early 2000s. That was our anthem, our angry anthems back then, so
Hybrid Theory is another one of those albums that
oh, yeah,
sticks.
absolutely, for sure. How do you know when a friendship has run its course versus needing repair? We kind of answered this a little bit ago on my end. I'll do a quick briefing and then I'll let you answer. Um, Just when you're not comfortable being around that person anymore, in my own experience, I didn't have fun anymore. I always had anxiety being around this person. That's not how your friends are supposed to make you feel. You're supposed to feel, I feel refreshed, rejuvenated, you can go to your friends and relax, finally put the worries of the world behind you and just, let loose. And your friends are supposed to be there to help you, not make you feel
Mhm.
worse. So like that's my personal how I felt. And after years and years of being like the I don't want to say less than friend, but she was always more popular and always the one that everybody talked to. So I felt like I was always just a tag along. And she always
Right.
made fun of how I dressed, how I talked, how I laughed. Like, and we were friends since we were in first grade until she was in my wedding, even. So that's a lot, and it just finally hit me like, "Why did I put up with this for all these years?" And she's not a good person, she's not the right vibe for me, and, but it does take time and it's hard, and that was like a relationship ending for me, so it's
It
never
feels like it.
easy, and yeah, and I tried to write her many times and explain things to her, and she would always just turn it back to being about her. She was a very me person, so I eventually just had to cut her off and ghost her. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do if they're not gonna listen after so many times, so
Yep.
yeah.
That's that
So,
boundary.
yeah, how do you feel on that one?
Oh, you pretty much said it. That's pretty much right. It's how do you feel when you're around them?
Yeah,
What's your nervous system telling you? I mean,
absolutely.
you can be friends with people who have different views and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that,
for
but
sure.
when you start looking at different morals and values and stuff like that, that's where the water starts to get a little muddy, and
Yeah.
then it's how connected are you to that individual? And
Mhm.
if you guys are really good friends, almost family members, and they still have different morals and values, then there's ways through that, and it's
Yeah.
through, understanding and boundaries. But if you can't uphold that and your nervous system is constantly feeling shot or you're
Yeah.
feeling less energetic after spending time with them because you're just emotionally or mentally worn out,
Yeah.
then I would definitely start looking at having some conversations with that person about, hey, maybe we need to
Mhm.
spend some less time together, or just maybe it's time to cut it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's so hard. And like I said, I should have years and years before I did, but we were that family, family. She was my best friend my whole entire life. So that, and we did a lot together. I was in the birthing room with her children,
Mhm.
everything like that. So it's hard, but you have to do what's right for you. And that's as I've become older, and wiser, I guess we can say, is like
Yeah,
you really start to value your time, who you spend
the
it with.
peace.
It's very important. So. This is fun, I don't even wanna stop.
Yeah.
We still got some time for some more, so I'm in no rush. Alright, let's see.
Oh, what is
If you
it?
could give your 18-year-old self advice, would you actually listen? We'll let you do this one first. That's a good one.
I love this. Um, am I going first?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, well, if I could give my 18-year-old self advice, I would not have listened.
No.
I was a knucklehead from way back. No,
Yeah,
I would've acted like I was gonna listen and done my own thing anyway, because 'cause I've always had to learn everything the hard way.
right, yeah,
Now, uh, I would've go back and tell myself, "Hey, I know you're not gonna listen, but you need to."
yeah, yeah,
Eh,
yeah. I agree with you on that one. I always thought I was more mature and, I always acted older and stuff like that. But looking back, I wasn't as mature as I thought I was. I would like to believe that I would listen, but I don't know. It just depends on what the advice was and what it was about. Um, I never went to college, like a college. I went to I'm a medical assistant. So I mean I did, but like I wish I could have actually went to a college, had that experience instead of just being thrown right into adulthood. I was also with my high school sweetheart from the time I was 16 until I was like 22. So like I didn't experience dating or anything like that until I was, in my mid 20s. So I just say maybe give yourself some more time. I hope I could have listened to myself, but I don't know. We're kind of stuck in our mindset, especially at 18, when you think we know everything. And so, yeah.
yeah, I could go on and on about that,
Right. Yeah.
on and on.
Hmm. Can you truly heal while still surrounded by the people who hurt you? Ooh, this is a good one. Hmm. I don't know if you can. There's probably situations where you can, but I think being around them, you're still gonna always have that fear or whatever it is, whatever happened with that person's always going to be there. Even if you go through different type of therapies like EMDR and different things like that to try to move it or heal it, I think it's always going to be there, unless that person changes, unless you guys have had that therapy together. We just
That's
talked about changing. If they have changed and want to change, then yeah, it could. But if they're still the same person, I don't think so.
agreed. You cannot heal in the same environment that hurts you.
No.
This you just can't.
Yeah.
Now, to change that environment, you can still heal around the people who hurt you, but like you said, they have to put in work as well because
Mhm.
change behavior needs to be in place here, and boundary work and accountability needs to be brought in. And if
Absolutely.
they're not willing to, jump on board with that, then no, you can't heal in the same environment that hurts you.
No, definitely not. And it's as we've said all throughout this and almost everything that I've talked about, like you need to be selfish when it comes to your mental health, and it's not being selfish. Who cares if people view that, but you got to
No,
put yourself first. So,
it is not selfish to worry. You can't pour from an empty cup. We've said this before.
yeah, absolutely not. And that
Mhm.
keeps being a reoccurring issue or statement in all of my episodes. We all feel that way. All of us that are trying to make a difference in the world, you cannot pour from the empty cup and even to our own self. So,
Mhm.
is closure real or is it something we create for ourselves? I'll let you answer. I think you actually submitted this question, so
Oh, is closure real or is it something we create for ourselves? It is both.
Mhm. Yeah.
It is something that we create for ourselves, but sometimes you don't get that closure. So that closure that when we do get it, it's a satisfying feeling.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
usually it not all the time, but usually it feeds a cognitive bias.
Yeah.
Or some sort of a bias that we hold, and it's proving something or it's letting something go completely.
Yeah.
And so that gives us that closure, and it's basically a shot for our ego
Mhm.
sometimes. It's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
wow, I feel so much better now. I got that closure. And ultimately, if you got closure, you're lucky because
Mhm.
most of the time you don't get it.
No. Yeah, I
Life,
agree with you.
life ain't fair
Definitely.
like that.
No, for sure, definitely. There's definitely moments in my life where I will never have closure. I know that, but you can kind of, like you said, in your own mind, cl- do a closure that works for you.
Mhm.
Kind of, it may not be what you thought it would be or what you fully need, but you can work
Acceptance.
through some things to kind of move on from it, or realize it's a different part of your life now or different things like that. But if you do get that real closure, it does help a lot. Especially if like it's a relationship or friendship or someone's going to pass away and you guys had some kind of disagreement beforehand and you get to talk to them before they do. That's really important, and some of us we're not lucky enough to have that. So yeah, that's a tough one, but I think it can be
Okay.
real, definitely. And I think there's different perspectives on what real is to each person. So
Yes, and this can be applied in many different ways, like you had said,
yeah.
losing someone and having that opportunity to talk to them one last time or
Mhm.
repair a relationship, it
Yeah.
it can a broad spectrum of what you could plug this into.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see what we get to now. We can probably do a little, about 3 or 4 more maybe, depending.
Yeah,
Let's see here. Oh, yeah.
I'm
Has
liking it.
hustle culture permanently damaged how we view rest? I think so in some ways. I think people always think they have to be on the go. They always got to be doing. They always got to be competing with everybody else. This kind of goes back with social media. Always posting. I'm sure we've all gotten in situations. I can say myself, like a year or two ago, I was really focusing on my health journey, and I decided to get into TikTok. Which, whew, thank God I'm out of there. But I felt like I had to post on there 24/7, every single workout, every single thing, like every single, and the way the culture is, if you want to spend it in a different way, money financially, like it's hard to not have to hustle nowadays. Most of us are living paycheck to paycheck or not even.
Right.
So as we said, a lot of times just the state of the world kind of makes it hard to not have to hustle, but we do need a rest too. As we've just said, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You do need that rest. If your battery completely runs out, then you're going to crash. And that's not good at all. That could cause more time off work or whatever the situation is. You may have to be admitted somewhere or have a sickness. Like being
Mhm.
stressed and constantly going does cause physical illness as well. So,
And another thing is, the hustle culture, it also masks, and I'm gonna get deep here, it masks trauma.
yeah.
Because, a lot of individuals who don't do the trauma work and stuff like that, they become workaholics.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah.
then that leads into, so a lot of the people that you see that are highly successful and stuff like, not all of them obviously,
Mhm.
but, there's a specific amount of individuals who obtain these high levels of achievements, but
Yeah.
it's because they're workaholics for avoiding trauma.
Absolutely.
And so that's just another aspect of it, and what you're saying is absolutely true. We today, you can't live paycheck to paycheck. You almost have to have 2 paychecks, 3
Mhm.
paychecks just to
Yeah.
be able to afford the monthly bills.
Yeah.
So, it becomes, uh, very important to rest,
Mhm.
but we also rest without resting because we feel guilty for resting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And even if you don't, and I'll take from another episode that I haven't posted yet, but I spoke to somebody that is in somatic therapy. Like, even in that moment, if you can just take a moment, like she brought up a good point, bringing something with you that you like to smell, like an oil or a scent or something,
So important.
or tapping or something, just in that moment to regulate yourself. You
Regrounding,
may
yeah,
not have enough time to go take a bubble bath or read a book or take a nap or something like that, but try to just bring yourself present in that moment. Take a few moments. Nobody's going and the world is not going to end if you need to take 5 minutes to yourself to compose yourself, so yeah.
and our olfactory, the nose, our
Mhm.
sense of smell, all of that, it is so profound and
Yes.
wonderful that just
Absolutely.
a wonderful smell like that can just woosah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Definitely. So there's little things that you can do to help yourself. You can't it doesn't always have to be big. It doesn't always have to be a big professional thing either.
Self-care.
Yes, self-care is important, and no matter how you do it, it's important. Can family roles like the strong one or the fixer ever really be unlearned? Oh, this one hits hard for me. So I am the definition of the eldest daughter. So this one's really hard for me. I am the family manager. I am the one that does it all. So yes, it can. I'm struggling with that, but over the last couple of years, I've made big steps to take this time, self-care, the rest, and know that everything is not my problem to fix. I can only do what I can do, and if I'm in a state of being that I'm not able to help somebody, I'm sorry, but I have to put myself first. So,
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
important, and a lot of people, it's hard for them to be able to do that because they feel like they're failing people,
absolutely. Yes, and
and
that's
you're
something that I've
not.
run into. Yeah.
You're absolutely not.
Yeah,
It would be failing them if you were to continue running on fumes and giving them 40% of your capabilities.
absolutely. Yeah, this is a
Um,
really good one. Yeah.
it is a good one. I think you can unlearn it.
Mhm.
It's going to take a lot of work.
Mhm.
I've had to do this myself. I think a lot of people have had to do this, and they can attest that it that the answer is yes and no. There are some habits that may not change,
Yeah.
but you can only do what you can do and change what you can and accept what you can't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just little steps, and like you said, it's not gonna happen overnight. It may never fully happen, but if you can ever find a little bit of more time for yourself, or times to say no, and that makes you stronger too, and you should be proud of yourself for that and look at it
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, I am being a strong person right now. So, and that, like I said, I struggle with this personally, so it is a hard one, but you can do it. So
I was the
let's
firefighter. I ran around putting out everyone's fires
yeah, I
in
get that too.
the objects.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's so exhausting because you don't have time for yourself, but you have to, and then there's everything else, and I'm bad, I always think. I'm a thinker, even as I have a hard time sleeping because my brain is always
Oh,
going,
the
so
Energizer Bunny brain.
yeah,
Yes, I got it.
absolutely.
I got it.
I think we have time for 1 or 2 more. Could do this forever, but we do have to cut
Yeah,
it off at some point, so
I'm having
this
a
has
lot of
have
fun.
been a blast, so yeah. Is there an artist or band that feels like they saved you during a hard time? Ooh, I'll let you go first.
Oh, yeah. and it's gonna seem kinda out of pocket for what we've been Counting Crows.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. Yeah.
Um, for my 16th birthday, my mom bought me, and my friend Curtis that I just talked about, we tickets to Counting Crows and the Fiona Apple show. And
Nice.
I had never seen Fiona Apple, but I was huge Counting Crows fan, and
Mhm.
that was one of the albums that was in circulation for me and my friend,
Mhm.
and it was up there with importance is with Jar of Flies is for me. So when I saw them live, it was life-changing, and I was going through a lot of emotional and mental challenges at that time.
Mhm.
I was sick like I said, I was 16, it's a tough time anyway,
Yeah.
but just getting out of, an abusive, uh, stepdad relationship, it was kind of, the beginning of a new phase of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of artists and bands, especially for us. You're really into music and we use that as therapy. I have two that really stand out to me. I'd say when I was about 16, like you, going through that angry teenager phase, just feeling misunderstood and just a lot of stuff. That's when Papa Roach came out and Last
Oh,
Resort.
yeah.
That became like my anthem. I love that song. I think it's
Mhm.
really cool. I grew up in an age where like that angry rock was a thing. We had System of a Down, Korn, everybody, like all of those,
Right.
like the parents misunderstood the lyrics and thought it was evil, but no, it was helping all of us like show our expressions and get things out there and get that rage out there. So that's kind of where my love of that started. Of course Creed was a part of that. And then I'd have to say in my pregnancy losses, I have a playlist that I post every October because October is pregnancy and infant loss month. So there's a lot of songs and artists on there. But my all-time top song for my sweet pea babies, that's what I call them, is a song by Avril Lavigne. And it absolutely, I cannot think of the name of it right now, and it's one of my favorite songs, but it's just basically, like letting go and you didn't have time to say goodbye and stuff like that. So that's one of my when I need a good cry or if I just need to let it out, that's my song I go to for that. So
Avril Lavigne's a good artist too. She got a lot of
she
hate,
is.
but man, that first
I
album was
know. Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, she does get a lot of hate, but she's a great person. And I'm one of
Mhm.
those people I'm not ashamed to. I listen to what I listen to. It's not everyone's preference, and I listen to a
Yeah.
variety of everything.
You had mentioned Corn.
Yeah.
Corn made me play pool real good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah.
It got me motivated.
Yeah. That's cool.
Mhm.
I like that. Well, let's do one more. Let's see what we got
Oh,
here.
last one. Let's be a good one.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
Well, this kind of goes with. Let's not do this one because we've answered this enough. This goes with all the
That
family
was
stuff
definitely
we've
a
done.
good one though,
It
where we're
was,
picking
yeah.
apart boundaries, but
We
we
just answered a lot on the
future
family
episode.
dynamics and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Here we go. This is a good one to end on. Is therapy becoming normalized or just trendy? I'll let you take this, especially as a peer recovery support. Yeah, so
Mhm. You get what you put into therapy.
yes, absolutely.
Is it being normalized? It absolutely should be normalized. Every single
Absolutely.
one of us should take a time, go to a therapist just to feel validated in a space where we're not judged. Look at what
Yeah.
daily life is like. We're judged on
Mhm.
everything we do. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you feel like you would want to go and sit in a room where you could just let down all your defenses and just go,
Yeah.
sure, they might challenge you on some of your visions and stuff like that, but that's how we grow.
Yep.
Now, if you
Absolutely.
don't put any work into it, you're just going to for the show at
Yeah.
that point. You
Oh
have
yeah.
to do work. You have to. You
Yeah.
can't just go in there and be like, "Oh, I'm seeing a therapist. Why isn't
No.
it working?"
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point, and I think, like you said, it should be normalized. Growing up, especially our parents, and even at our when we were younger, like it was so stigmatized and
Mm,
untalked about. And if
yes.
you went to therapy, you were like mentally insane. Like there was all these stigmas and stuff, and it affected getting jobs or things like that. If people found out that you did therapy, they thought you were a nutcase or something. So
Right.
I am glad it is becoming more normalized and more acceptable, But like you said, yeah, you can't just go to be like, "Yeah, I go to therapy. I see my therapist." Like, just
Mhm.
to be like, part
Yeah,
of
look
everybody
at my
else.
personal growth.
And this goes back, I've had a lot of different type of therapists come in, and I'm really excited to get those episodes out, but almost all of them have said what you just said, like, it's on you. They're there to
Yes,
help you and guide you and give you the tools, but ultimately it's not them changing your brain or how you think or anything like that. It's you have to put in the work and effort, and it's not easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to have setbacks. You're going to need breaks, and it's not going to happen overnight. As we've said in almost all these episodes, grief doesn't go away, trauma doesn't fully go away. You have to work through it all. So,
and you can always start out with something as simple as talk therapy, where there's
yes,
no
absolutely.
interventions or anything like that. They just you talk through your day, and they just hold space for you and validate what you went through and
Yeah.
everything. And then
Yeah.
as that relationship builds, you're like, "You know what? Maybe I do wanna talk about what happened in summer camp
Yeah.
in 1984."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Starting small, or like you said, just talking with somebody. You don't have to try all the different techniques out there or anything right off the bat. Just getting it out there, finding out what your traumas really are. A lot of us hold stuff in that we don't even realize, or that are affecting us in our future or our present self that we didn't even know was affecting us. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that was really fun. This was awesome. I could go all day doing these. So thank you so much for being my first guest on WWAMMD. What would Auntie Mel Mel do? Before we wrap up, a quick reminder, the conversations you heard today are based on personal experience and perspective, not professional advice. If anything we discussed brought something up for you, you're not alone, and support is always available. Chris, thank you for co-hosting this first WWAMMD episode with me, for your
Good
openness,
stuff.
insight, and willingness to meet these questions with compassion. And to everyone listening or watching, WWAMD is an ongoing series. If you have a question you want us to tackle in a future episode, send it in, drop it in the comments, or message me directly. No topic is off limits. If this episode made you think, laugh, pause, or feel seen, please share it with someone who might need it. Until next time, from one auntie to another, take care of yourself, be kind to your mind, and keep asking those hard questions. All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's episode of Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Thank you for spending this time with me and stepping into the real, the raw, the messy, and the magical, because we don't do surface level here. If this episode hit home, made you laugh, or helped you feel a little less alone, go ahead and follow the podcast and share it with someone who might need it too. And remember, you are never too much, never too little, and never alone on this wild ride. I'll meet you back here next time for more truth, more feels, and more unfiltered goodness. This is Auntie Mel Mel signing off. Stay real, stay kind, and stay unfiltered.